That longing for another fountain pen. If you're watching this channel, I am sure you know what that's like. Well, I have deferred all my fountain pen purchases until the Montblanc Wes Anderson fountain pen shows up this spring. That's a long time to wait, but I've been doing pretty well. But over Christmas, it was so difficult. I wanted that Waterman Curon Reflections of Paris fountain pen so much. Beautiful cap. I love Waterman. So elegant, so beautiful. But I didn't. I held off. But then my eye was caught by the Montblanc Rosette Noir in ivory with the heritage nib. Saw this as the perfect marriage of my Egyptomania and the Montblanc Bohème. I just wanted it so bad. I was so close to pulling the trigger when I was rescued by a member of this channel, JR Diaz, who sent me a pen I had been lusting for a long time, one that I couldn't deny. This is the Lamy Safari in terracotta, the original color. So he sent that to me and I was able to get that excitement back again. But why? Why would I choose a Lamy Safari over a Montblanc? Why was it enough? Why was it sufficient enough to satisfy me that I felt like I didn't have to pull the trigger on that Montblanc? Well, let me share with you exactly why. The 1980s, a decade of change, of transition, the apotheosis of American consumerism, conspicuous consumption, a thriving economy, a country trying to put the Vietnam and stagnation years of the 1970s behind it. The 1980s were a decade that brought us the Lamy Safari. This is a design icon. Wolfgang Fabian designed this in the early 1980s. This was a time for curvilinear shapes, a synthesis of neo-deco and emerging digital influences. Think of the designs of Giorgetto Giugiaro and his Seiko chronograph 7A28-7000, known as the Ripley, from its inclusion in the film Aliens. Or the Ferrari Testarossa, designed by the team at Pininfarina. But remember, nothing is designed in a vacuum. Each item stems from the time and the associations it was born into, and the Lamy Safari was born at an amazing time. There was a new optimism in design, a fresh look at a type of retro-futurism, neo-deco, neo-futurism, neo-atomic. This design language was rooted in the Bauhaus, but transcended modern design to a freer, softer expression of bright colors and challenging shapes, often with a dose of whimsy. This is collectively known as the Memphis Group. The Memphis Group was a group of designers housed in Milano that brought in geometric shapes, video graphics, and the playful forms of neo-deco in the early 1980s. When you see their work, believe me, you think 1980s. These are expressions like a Patrick Nagel painting. Think of the graphics of Miami Vice. One of its most popular designers in the United States was Michael Graves. The Lamy Safari follows this form with a Lego plastic hull of sleek straight sides joined by two rounded edges, a nod to more traditional forms. At the end of the barrel, Lamy is recessed in the mold in an oblique block lettering. The clever cut oblong insert of the ink level window on both sides to show the remaining ink and whether the pen is properly assembled is another perfect nod to this style. The barrel of the pen is separated from the grip with a ring-like washer of an offsetting color, a signal that the flow and shape of the form is about to change, and change it does. The grip, as polarizing as it may be, is also a design masterpiece. A rounded belly with two symmetrical carves in the same oblong shape as the ink level window, but tapering to a T shape with a perfect anchor for your fingers, even if you choose not to use it. Precise, elegant, ergonomic form. Beyond the grip is the nib, and the nib is so often overlooked as a design element. But let's take a look at it. I consider this an affordable masterpiece of form. Nibs are often made of precious gold, polished and refined in multiple steps for perfect smoothness, beauty, refinement. And there's room for this, and I adore this on all of my Montblanc pens. However, with Lamy and the Safari, the nib is reductive. It is the essence of nibness. It is a folded metal stamp of a nib in stainless steel wrapped around a plastic feed with little fanfare or decoration. Yet, in this minimalist representation, we get this perfect little dart of a nib whose smooth consistency is legendary. Tested by hand before leaving the factory, ensuring a wonderful writing experience, the remains of that first stroke of writing is often still tinging the tines in blue ink when you receive it. Now, let's take a look at the cap. The cap snaps on, sealing the nib, protecting it. The cap is cylindrical, circular around. The finial is crossed with a Phillips head pattern. Previous finials had little holes. Others had a flat notch as if for a slotted screwdriver. I rather like the Phillips head cross. It has a bit of Klaus Oldenburg about it, the designer of the famous giant clothespin that has been baffling generations of Philadelphians. It is a giant clothespin that's just a small object made large. Or is it something soaring and far more elegant? Is it a representation of two people in an embrace? Yes, yes, and yes. Well, if we consider the transcendent whimsy of Klaus Oldenburg, let's look at the Lamy Safari 2, whose cap also has a nod to whimsy. I'm referencing the famous bent wire clip that resembles a paper clip in a bit of pop art sensibility. This clip is spring-loaded, plastic-coated, incredibly effective, simple, functional, oversized. It works as a clip and as a brake to keep the cap from rolling away. But it has another function, one that is almost completely overlooked in the fountain pen world. It also functions as a little stand for the pen, keeping it slightly elevated and balanced, freeing it from its own weight, giving it the appearance of hovering above your desk. Marvelous. Cantilevered in a playful manner, making it very easy to grasp. Just hovering there. It is beautiful to behold there on your desk, inspiring in its beauty and its hovering lightness even before you begin to write. This clip is perhaps the most expressive design element on the entire pen. This is the form that gives this pen its beauty, that roots it firmly in the 1980s design language from which it sprung, yet transcends its historical roots to look as fresh and interesting today as it ever has. Another remarkable design element, and this one is a nod to clever German engineering, is the way that these are shipped with a cardboard collar around the barrel of the pen. This is designed to be removed, and then once the pen is screwed together, this action gently presses the mouth of the cartridge against the nozzle of the feed, puts it in perfect place for quick and easy writing, and it also instantly educates the user on the ease of replacing a cartridge in this pen. Another amazing thing about the Lamy Safari is that it has perfect balance whether posted or not. It is amazingly light, amazingly tough, easy to guide above the page with the trailing tip of the smooth, stainless steel nib, tracing a thin line and trailing as you go. Now, my perfect setup on this pen eschews the cartridge for the Z28 converter so that I may fill it from a bottle. In this instance, it's the infamous modern dark lilac at my wife's suggestion. I also prefer the 1.1mm stub, and although I had to give up the blackened nib that came with it because it was a fine, and I'm not sorry to see that one go, though I certainly could replace this nib again at any time. This is another defining feature of these pens. They are easily field stripped, easily customizable, easy to find parts for, easy to clean, easy to swap nibs. They are just incredibly easy. And this is another very attractive quality and references their design. They are designed to be easy. This pen also has amazing proportion. The grip is about 10.2 millimeters across. That's just perfect for ease of use, even if you were to completely ignore the ergonomic grip. The barrel is 10.2 on the flat sides and 12 on the rounded. The cap has a diameter of 13.8. This pen weighs 17.69 grams. It is just a refined, simplified perfection, expressed through inexpensive materials in a charming, optimistic symphony of rounded lines. It's a bit of 1980s design language that I can carry for the rest of my life. This fountain pen is also so very distinctive, although many of these design cues are lost in its ubiquity. But take a fresh look at your Lamy Safari. It's an award-winning design for a reason. And although much of it seems to melt away in the pleasant ease of using one, it just adds to its appreciation. Seeing it there, nearly hovering on its clip, renews my love for this pen, its uniqueness and strength of form. And this is why I chose it, even over a pen I adore like a Montblanc any day. You might think me strange, but I guess it's more of an eccentricity. What can I say? I just adore this pen, and the more I learn about it and get to know it, the stronger I feel toward it. And it's just been amazing writing with the original form and color of this fountain pen. Well, I'd love to hear what you think. Leave me a comment and let me know if you love the Lamy Safari as much as I do. And if you've reached this point in the video, please subscribe. I'd love to have you along on this journey with us. And if you want to support the channel even more, membership is available. And for Illuminati and Cognoscenti members, we have a pen pal group. So come on behind the scenes as well. I make new videos all the time, and I have a live show as well. So I can promise you we will see each other again very soon, further up the road. So take care of yourself and keep writing.